Hi, this is Robert from Retro Car Guy 530. In this video I'm going to introduce you to a company that produces some parts and accessories for the Chevrolet SSR pickup. It's a company that if you owned a Chevy SSR pickup for any length of time you probably already know, but in case you don't or you're a new owner of a Chevy SSR, I would strongly encourage you to get familiar with this company. In fact, I've purchased so many parts from this company that I consider mine a Chevy SSR SE. And you're going, what's the SE for? Well, it's for Simple Engineering. Mike at Simple Engineering has done a wonderful job for over a decade or more to help the SSR owner community to get their vehicles, keep them on the road, and solve those interesting and unique problems that show up on the Chevy SSR. So after the intro, we'll start checking out the accessories and parts that I have on my vehicle from that company and the ones that I would recommend you check out on their website. So stick around after the intro and we'll start checking them out. If you have a cargo cover lid without a tag hanging from it telling people how to close it properly, you might want to get a replacement one from Simple Engineering so that everyone knows how to close it properly. And to give proper instruction to someone closing the hood that may not be the owner of the vehicle, you might want to get this decal from Simple Engineering to put on your hood so they know not to close it by grabbing the hood emblem on the front. Now we're looking in the engine compartment here behind the radiator, and I have one of these Simple Engineering drop-in replacement radiator fans that's shrouded. It's a much better fan than the original VW fan. The VW fan is known to fail. It's more of a question of when rather than if. So I would strongly suggest you check out the offerings from Simple Engineering on replacing your radiator fan with either this one or there's other ones that Simple Engineering offers as well. Of course, some items that are available from Simple Engineering include some maintenance items for your cooling system. There's replacement stock radiator hoses, there's replacement thermostat and thermostat housings, I believe. There's also replacement caps for the overflow tanks. And recently Simple Engineering has replaced or developed a product to replace the heater hoses that run back to the firewall, because some of those have started to fail, so keep that in mind if yours are having an issue. Here are the rear cargo area cover deck struts with my original hinges on my 2004 SSR. These are obtained from Simple Engineering and produced by LST. These cartridges, strut cartridges, replace the original ones and are drop-in replacements, so it's easy, about a 5-minute installation. These solve the problem of the cargo area cover only opening partially when you unlatch it, and I would definitely recommend getting these if you're having that problem, which most SSRs with the original deck strut cartridges are having that problem, so check them out from Simple Engineering. Here is a mirror modification sold by Simple Engineering and produced by Muth signal mirrors. They are a direct replacement for the original mirrors, but they do not contain the auto dimming feature on the driver's side, since that is a protected copyrighted feature. So the Muth signal mirrors contain the heated element and the turn signal indicator on the side. There is red and amber if I recall correctly, and the heated element is functional as well. So if you're wanting to let everyone know your intentions for making a lane change, I would recommend getting the Muth signal mirrors for your SSR. Here is the hood lift kit for a Chevy SSR for the 2003 and 4 model years. It will fit any of the years, but is intended for the 2003 and 4 because they originally came with a hood prop rod which was used to support the weight of the hood, which you can see the hole right behind the top of this particular strut cartridge. And often the prop rod wouldn't be inserted correctly and it might come out and tear the hood blanket on the underside of the hood or get bent. The integrity of the hood prop rod is compromised if it's bent, and I would never trust it supporting the extreme heft of this particular hood. So if you have a 2003 or 4 SSR and you don't have this hood lifts kit, I would strongly recommend you get one and install it. The mounting points for the kit on the bottom by the fenders is already present, the hole is already there, so just a matter of bolting it together down there. And on the top there's just a couple holes to drill for the pop rivets to go into. Just need to be careful not to drill too far. Very easy installation overall and a huge safety improvement in my opinion. So check these out on Simple Engineering website. You're now looking at the air dam in front of the radiator support bracket, and it's actually a pretty important piece on the Chevy SSR. It helps direct some airflow or create some negative pressure behind it to draw air out the backside of the radiator. This particular design by Simple Engineering also tries to scoop up the air to throw it up into the radiator area in the front side of it as well. So if you're missing your rectangular piece of plastic that came with your SSR, if you haven't noticed one way or the other, I would urge you to go check the front of your SSR to see if you have one that's attached with these 5 mount points on the radiator support bracket. If you don't have one, check out the one offered from Simple Engineering and get that on there as soon as possible, especially during the hotter months of the year. It's important that you have your air dam in place to keep the proper engine cooling airflow. You're now taking a look at the radiator support bracket for the Chevrolet SSR. The air dam, of course, mounts to the front of this, so the 5 mount holes for that correspond to the 5 holes at the front bottom of the bracket. But the original bracket that comes from GM is a plastic piece, and road debris or cement blocks in parking lots might damage the plastic piece, so I would highly recommend replacing the original GM plastic piece with this metal version from Simple Engineering. This is a 2004 Chevrolet SSR, and it's an automatic, so the transmission fluid does have some heat challenges, especially here in hotter climates and like in Northern California or anywhere in the Southwest where it gets super hot in the summertime. So I would recommend you add a transmission cooler if you've added a supercharger to your vehicle, change the torque converter to a high stall torque converter, or anything that would increase the temperature of your transmission, especially if you're hauling anything. I happen to have transmission oil cooler number 2. It's a bigger unit. There are 2 sizes. There's a unit that's slightly smaller than this one, but check those out at Simple Engineering. One of the things the SSR was not known for is its stiff frame. So one of the great improvements for the SSR was the creation of this stiffening plate by Simple Engineering. It is a replacement of the X-brace, which is a tubular brace that's very flimsy overall. This plate is high-grade aluminum, and it is very capable of dampening a lot of the vibration and flexing that goes on your SSR's front frame. So I would add that to your vehicle if you don't have one. It will definitely improve the top-down ride. It doesn't totally eliminate the A-pillar shake, but it certainly greatly reduces it and stiffens up the front end. So if you haven't checked this out yet, I would check it out at Simple Engineering. We're now taking a look at the LC32 Engine Crossmember Kit, which is a piece that will help firm up the front frame on your SSR. It is not required it's not a required piece for the front frame stiffening plate, but it is certainly a supplemental piece if you wish to add it. I chose to install both of them on my 2004 SSR, and you might need to do this, if I recall correctly, if you change your oil pan to a Corvette C6 style oil pan. So keep that in mind, and it's available from Simple Engineering. We're now taking a look at one of the more common problems of late, the ABS module having solder joint failures. And notice how closely located it is to the catalytic converter on the driver's side here. So Simple Engineering has created a heat shield, ABS module heat shield, that you put in between the ABS module and the catalytic converter. It's a very simple installation. There's a bolt back here to mount it and another one in the front to mount it. And it's a very simple but effective way of helping to block some of the heat that's going to the ABS module. So hopefully that will help prevent any failure of your module. So I would check this out on Simple Engineering's website. We're now taking a look at the shift cable connection on the automatic transmission for my 2004 SSR. And you can see that it is extremely close to the catalytic converter on the driver's side, just on the opposite side of the converter from where the ABS module is. And due to the proximity to the catalytic converter, this shift cable connection originally has a neoprene piece in it that ends up getting brittle from the heat and ends up breaking down, and then the shift cable pops off the connector going to the transmission. So the transmission shift cable repair kit was created by Dick Belleville and is now available on Simple Engineering's website, and it replaces the neoprene portion of the cable connector with a bolt and a couple washers and locking nut to be a permanent replacement for the problem down here by being exposed to the heat from the catalytic converter. So I would check that out and get that on your SSR if you haven't already, because you want to get that taken care of before you're in the middle of nowhere and you go to shift out of park or try to move the vehicle and you can't shift your transmission. So again, check that out on Simple Engineering's website. We're now taking a look at the 4-bolt crossmember piece for the Chevrolet SSR sold by Simple Engineering. It is a replacement for the single bolt on each end tubular brace that was available on the SSR from the factory. Originally, the frame used for the SSR was based on the Trailblazer EXT, and it came with a 4-bolt 2 on each side support brace here, but so the nuts are present in the frame for the 4-bolt one, but they only supplied the 1 bolt on each side, 2-bolt tubular one, with the SSR. So if you have a Trailblazer brace, you could use that, but this one's wonderful design, quite easy to install. You just need to clear out the threads for the unused nuts that are in the frame, and then you install the crossmember, and it does help stiffen up the flex, or remove some of the flex from the midsection of your vehicle. So check that out on Simple Engineering website. You're now taking a look at the brackets for the running boards on my Chevy SSR, and these are actually modified brackets that tuck in the running boards by a couple inches. So if you consider the running boards to stick out a little too far on your SSR, so if you would like to tuck them in just for looks, for me actually I have a functional reason for doing it, so I don't actually hit my leg on it every time I walk up to the SSR. Seems like a simple thing, but this was a modification that made the driving experience a lot more pleasurable for me, because I wasn't hurting my leg every time I go up and try to get in the SSR. So check those out on Simple Engineering's website. Now here's something you normally don't see on a stock equipped SSR. That's a spare tire in the rear of the vehicle. This is a kit available from Simple Engineering where you can add a steel rim or any rim of your choice that fits in this back area. But this is normally the location on a Trailblazer where the spare tire would be carried, but the stock location for that on the SSR was occupied by the battery box on the passenger side over here. So as part of this installation of the spare tire kit, you actually relocate the battery over to the area behind the passenger side rear wheel. There's a box that is part of the kit that you put the battery into that slides up and down, and that's where the battery then resides. And there's a replacement negative battery cable that is a little bit longer to allow for it to reach its normal bolt-on locations on the frame and the body. Check this out on Simple Engineering's website. Now here's an example of a nice cosmetic and functional improvement in my opinion. A 5-inch stainless steel exhaust tip for your SSR from Simple Engineering. It better fills the bumper fascia's opening. It fills in that gap left by the stock tip, and it seems to change the sound just a little bit in my opinion. So if you want to add a nice cosmetic and nice sound enhancement to your SSR, check out the 5-inch exhaust tips from Simple Engineering on their website. We're taking a look inside the retractable hardtop storage area for your Chevrolet SSR pickup, and one of the items I want to call attention to are the pneumatic struts that are used for the roof to help take off some of the load from the hydraulic system. So you'll notice that each side has one, and my screwdriver is pointing to the top of it on the driver's side. There are one on each side, and as the vehicle's been aging, the charge inside the struts, just like the ones for the cargo cover, they don't always hold their charge, and the amount of effort that they're taking off the pump system is decreasing over time as the charge decreases. So I would investigate getting these replaced. If you have never replaced them or you can't find out that they've been replaced, I might suggest you investigate that process. It's fairly easy, a little cumbersome to get the bottom side of the strut off the ball socket on the bottom, but it's easily done overall. It's a fairly straightforward process. There's an installation tool that is shipped with the items from Simple Engineering to make it a lot easier to install them. So if you haven't checked out yours or replaced them in the last 10 years or so, I would check it out on Simple Engineering's website. Hopefully this video has been helpful in introducing you to Simple Engineering's products. There are a good number of them. They are very helpful in maintaining your vehicle, improving the stability and maintaining that quality ride that you need for your Chevy SSR. So please check out Mike's website at simple-engineering.com. I'll put a link in the description of the video here so you can go check that out. And check out all the parts that he has for the SSR, and if you happen to have a Chevy Trailblazer SS, he has parts for that as well. But thanks for coming back to this channel and checking out the SSR content, and I hope to have more related to the simple engineering installation of products, so check back on the channel in the near future. Thanks for watching.
If you like this video, hit the thumbs up button. If you're stopping by the channel for the first time and you want to, please subscribe. Click that bell icon to get notified when I upload new videos. Please follow Retro Car Guy 530 on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Thanks for taking the time to visit the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.